live. I'm going to try to watch the chat on my laptop today. This is one of my favorite times of the week where we get together and just bring it on in and focus on health, wealth, happiness, all the things. Like the word health comes from a root word that means wholeness. So we get together. There's YouTube telling me that I'm live. I already knew that though. This is where you get together to talk about all things that will enrich the quality of your life, maybe extend your life, definitely make you enjoy the process more. I think that's a big part of health, right? Is enjoying a good quality of life. And today's topic is definitely going to add to that, I hope. We're going to have some fun today. You're going to hopefully walk away with a brand new perspective on what you deserve in your home. So I'm going to be talking to you a little bit today about clutter. I know. We're going to talk a little bit today about clutter, and I'm going to offer something to you that is pretty bold that you may or may not have ever thought of doing before. I'm going to get you some really helpful information and give you a technique that I think might save you if clutter is a problem in your life. And a couple of tips and things like that. But first, we're going to check in and see how we did last week. Oh, my baby's here. Hi, Scotty. Mwah, mwah, mwah. Big kisses. Thank you so much for being here, my love. I appreciate y'all for caring about your health and for wanting to hang out a little bit for a few minutes on a Sunday morning to reconnect with your health. Just put that tent pole in the ground and say, that's right, I'm a healthy person. I have healthy habits. I take care of myself. I make time on Sunday to think about my health. So I'm going to talk a little bit during this live, and as I always encourage you to do, take a couple minutes after we're done here and just maybe journal a little bit or think about what you might do this week that could be a little bit even healthier than what you did last week. Think about something you might want to cut back on, something you might want to increase. Think about what we talk about today. Like I said, I'm going to give you some powerful tools around the idea of clutter and actually some actions that you may not have thought of before that could help. And so take a few minutes after we're done here and think about it and let it sink in. And just each week, we're just going to get a little bit healthier, a little bit happier, a little bit healthier, a little bit happier. That is going to be our plan. So Scotty, my love, says, hello, baby. Hi, my sweet. He says, my clutter is cluttered. We're going to take care of that today. Oh, good. Healthy hair is here. She says, I'm here. Happy, healthy, mwah, mwah, mwah. Happy, healthy Sunday to you too. So first things first, I know we talked about a little bit of a walking challenge. I know my girl Kim is in this with me. So I took the challenge last week to take some more steps. Healthy hair. I'm curious if you did any extra steps, any bilateral movements in your bed. I know you're rehabbing an injury. I'm getting my back in shape. Chroma's here. She says, yay. I said, yay. So happy you're here. Always, 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 my sweet. She says, like the video. Yes, y'all, please hit like. Please hit those little hearts. Do all the action things. That helps out a lot. And by the way, I'm still trying to figure out why when we stream it looks good and then I upload my shorts and they're all like gray and grainy, but we're gonna sort it out. The important thing is that we're here together and we're sitting in our hearts with another. Good morning, Yana. I love you. So happy that you're here, my sweet. Always great to see you. This is also a good excuse to reconnect with y'all every week. So I love having that. Thank you for the hearts. I'm sending them right back. Okay, so I did do the walking challenge last week. There's an open walking challenge. If y'all want to get on the walking bandwagon, you can definitely join in this week. I have, in last week's video, there was a little link if you want to get a little printout to keep track of your steps. I will report back that I walked for almost 12 hours last week. That's pretty crazy, right? This is my hobby. This is my pastime right now. 72,000 steps, 11 hours and 47 minutes. I walked over 30 miles. So if you're just starting, don't try to start at those numbers. I've been walking for a little while. It's what I do to slim down, the fastest, the easiest. I talk on the phone, I listen to videos, and it's kind of like a hobby or a pastime for me. So those are my stats for last week. I'll be excited to see what Kim has to say. Healthy says, I walked in bed. Yes! Boom! High five, my love. She says, I also walked a little bit, stopped once. Yes, it started to hurt. Yes, we do pain-free only. Pain-free only. Oh, sending you hearts right back, Shelly. Shelly, you're going to love this one today. We're talking about freedom from clutter, and I know you know how to handle that. Hi, Nicholas. How are you? Thank you so much, my sweet. Mwah, welcome. I'm glad you're here. Zeno, hi, sweetheart. We're going to talk about something today that I don't know if y'all know anything about or have ever experienced or care about, but it's important. It's important for quality of life, and that is getting the most out of your physical environment. And I don't know if people are aware today, are still in touch with how much we deserve to be fed by and supported by our environment, our home. A lot of times, especially here in US, I don't know how it is in other places around the world, but here in US, we buy a lot of stuff we store a lot of stuff, it can start encroaching, it can start bringing down the quality of our life instead of bringing it up, and we have a clutter problem. I'm gonna hope to liberate you today from that clutter problem by giving you a little bit of a different point of view. Oh, Tisha! My heart is just bursting with kisses all over you, all over you. They're raining down on you, girl. We're talking about clutter today. I'm gonna give you all a really important tip in a minute and a really cool technique, but I just want to give you a couple of stats. Now, if you deal with clutter, you know it's a nuisance, but I want to tell you what people are going through. 54% of Americans feel overwhelmed by clutter, and 78% say they are really unsure how to address it. It's like, what do I do with my hands? I don't know. What do I do with all this stuff? I don't feel like I can just throw it away. I don't feel like I can just get rid of it. I don't know what to do. Give me a guess. Do you have a guess? How many items the average American home contains? How many items? You know, when you go to move and you think, oh, I don't know, maybe we just need a pickup truck and, 3 hours. And it's always like 6, 18, 25-foot trucks and 5 days and 30 people and whatever. We always underestimate. This says the average American home contains 300,000 items. Y'all, I know we're fancy, but do we need 300,000 items on average? Okay, 80% of these items, it is estimated that the people keep that we keep are rarely or are never used. That 80-20 rule, that we're not using 80% of the stuff that we keep. They're estimating, and that people spend an average of 55 minutes a day looking for things that we own but cannot locate. It says that eliminating clutter could reduce housework by 40%, and that they're saying 25%. Healthy Hair, and I think it's higher. They say 25% of people with 2-car garages don't have room to park a car inside the garage. They're saying 25%. I think it's more than that. I think it's more than that, to be honest. And moms who live in cluttered homes have higher levels of cortisol, and it does also impact sleep quality, that it's harder to get a good night's sleep if you're in a place that is cluttered. Clutter and depression. I'm not going to read this whole thing to you, but I'm going to tell you that research indicates that individuals living in cluttered spaces often experience heightened stress and depression levels. The cycle of clutter contributing to depression and vice versa, because when you're depressed, it's hard to feel motivated to get up and clean and sort and get rid of stuff and whatever. So it's a chicken and egg situation with depression and clutter. This underscores the complex relationship between physical environments and mental health. So what are we here talking about today? As always, as every Sunday, healthy habits. So learning to manage clutter is a super healthy habit. Okay, so we've established that. Healthy Hair says, wowzers, it's our closets, hair care, makeup, memories, and garage stuff. Absolutely. She says, 100%. Oh my goodness. Brobo is in the house. Backyard Dog Racing League. Y'all check out Backyard Dog Racing League. So wholesome, so cute. People bringing their animals, like just your pet, like your dog or cat, out to race, get timed, be able to compete. Really wholesome, good fun. Backyard Dog Racing says, I think clutter will accumulate because it's easier to attempt to buy the next moment of happiness. Don't get deep on us because you're not lying. Which we can see in a thing, then commit to 12 hours a week of walking, which is investing in oneself rather than in some other thing. I love that. That is actually super true. We have been really conditioned to look for our happiness and invest ourselves, like get something from the outside and bring it in, outside, bring it in, outside, bring it in, as opposed to saying, what will serve me? So you're really right on my core point today, which is we have to get our balance. We have to get the balance of power right with our environment. You're the gem in your environment. You're the queen, you're the king, you're the one who is there to be served and supported by your environment. The balance of power has to sit with you. You have to be the one in the position of power. You cannot, if you are in a situation where you're fighting off clutter, where you're making a narrow pathway to get from here to there and you're having to step over stuff, you're putting out effort just to be in the space. Now I understand that maintaining a home, any kind of environment, of course, there's maintenance. Of course, you have to, replace the windowsills or do this or, do maintenance on this and oil that and put WD-40. There's a certain amount of maintenance that comes with living in a dwelling. But we understand we're talking about something beyond that. We're talking about when the stuff stops serving us and we become slaves to the stuff. Chroma says, agreed. I like that this is another clutter topic. Good. Me too. It's spring cleaning time, so I feel like we could use it. Let's see here. Chroma says also, hi, Def. How are you, sweetheart? Thank you so much. I appreciate you, my love. Thank you so much. So she says also 40% less housework. Yeah, I knew there was a punchline coming. Yeah, we get rid of the clutter. They're saying we could probably get 40% less housework. So that actually makes sense. So here is the first thing. Hi, Aubrey. How are you, sweetheart? Thank you for saying hello. Here's the first sort of mindset shift I want to introduce to you. I want to ask you a question. And this is a question that you can ask yourself and you can ask when you look around your space. One note about it. When you look around your space, we stop seeing our stuff. We get so used to it, it just becomes normal. We stop seeing it. So if you've ever done like a big major clean out or something and you get to the after picture and you're like, dang, I wish I had taken it before because I don't even remember what it looks like before, we lose track of our environment. This is something I learned when I was little. I don't know how I learned it, if I just made it up or somebody taught me. But if you do your hands like this and pretend you are looking through a movie camera and you're being shown a scene from a movie or a TV show or whatever, and you just look through and you just take in just like this, like I'm a stranger, I'm an outside observer and I'm looking. If you look at your environment like that, you're gonna see a lot more that you probably don't see just living in your environment day to day. Let's see. Oh, Lawrence is here. Awesome. We've got the big boss in the house. I love that. Happy to see you. Aubrey, there's not an age, my love. I'm happy you're here. Hang out if you want. Def, I don't know, baby. Use Chat GPT, but rewrite it and go up there with confidence and conviction. You're going to do great. Lindell is here. Mwah. Good morning, my love. Happy to have you here as always. Okay. So that's one tip. When you think you've lost track of it, look around, look like you're looking through a movie screen and ask yourself, what is this movie telling me about the character who lives in this house by what I'm seeing in this scene here? I may have lost track of how I'm living, but let me look at it like this. Why is that on the floor? Like I looked right now. Why is there just a piece of crumpled notebook paper under my bed? I didn't know that was there, but it's there. So you'll see things that you wouldn't normally see looking around like that. But when you look around, I want you to ask yourself, or you look into a cabinet or a closet or a drawer or whatever, ask yourself, am I living in a home or am I living in a glorified storage unit? Am I living in a glorified storage unit? Am I living in a place that has become more about storing stuff than living people? You see what I'm saying? Is it more about, hey, here's where I come to relax, to rejuvenate, to connect with loved ones, to think about my future, to enjoy my health, to laugh, to recharge? Is it a place for that? Or is it a place where I'm just trying to exist and find a little place to be that's not going to get in the way of all the other stuff that's around? Chroma says, OMG. Yes, 11-year-olds are welcome here, honey. Get started on taking care of your clutter early. Kids' rooms can be some of the most clutter-laden spaces. The earlier you learn to take care of your clutter, babes, and get rid of stuff that you don't need, the better. And I have a good tip later that you might be able to use too. Let's see here. Oh, okay. God bless, my sweet. All right. Let's see here. Are you living in a trash can? Throw it away. I'm tossing stuff right now. I didn't want to say the trash can part. That actually is coming later. But yeah, we're going to talk about that too. Healthy hair, honey. You are right there on it. You're so good. So this is going to be a tough love, a sort of a technique I'm about to offer you in a second. Okay. If your space drains you instead of energizing you, it is really time for you to flip that power dynamic and for you to get on top of it. And I know before you say, oh my God, I couldn't, I don't know how to start, I don't have energy. Maybe part of the reason that you feel so disempowered is because of the stuff. And maybe you can ask friends and family for help. I'm going to give you a system today that I think is great for this, but maybe you're going to have to ask friends and family for help. Maybe you're going to have to spend a little money, although I'm going to talk about a bunch of free ways to do this. Not free ways like where you drive, but free space ways to do this. But also maybe it's just time to flip it so you can feel empowered, so your space can start feeding you so you don't feel so overwhelmed by it. Aubrey says, how do you not have more subscribers? Girl, we're just starting, but I'm happy you're here. This is a baby channel, Levy. Let's see here. Where do I see myself in the future? Telling y'all about this technique. Backyard says, real talk that can be overwhelming in your peace space. Yes, that will overflow into your whole experience. Amen, amen, amen. How do you make money as an 11-year-old? Always make money legally to the extent that you can, my love. Buy stuff in bulk and go and sell it at school individually to people like gum or something like that, or something that they don't mind that you use. Fibonacci sequence is all right with me. You guys have such funny questions. Okay, we're talking about clutter though. Okay, so if you might, here's a couple of test questions to see if you've reached that point where your stuff is actually having the power over you in your space, and we got to flip it. Do you avoid entire rooms or entire closets? Do you rebuy things that you know that you already own? Are you constantly trying to tidy up but never feel done, never feel like your space is there? Do you feel anxious or guilty when you walk in the door? Are you embarrassed to have people over? Yeah, so when your space stops being a source of replenishment and becomes more of a draining responsibility, it's time to flip that. Don't be clutter whipped with that clutter. All right, so here it is. This is the emergency decluttering protocol I want to give you today. So you're gonna need audacity, and you're gonna need to put on your big people undies for this one, because it's kind of extreme, but it can happen in a day. You can do it by yourself. You can ask for help. But here is my suggestion. If you are overwhelmed in your space and you want a fresh start and you don't know how you could possibly do it, this is what I suggest you do. You get your luggage, duffel bags, suitcases, whatever. Pack for 2 weeks. Pack your grooming supplies, your clothes, whatever you would need for 2 weeks. Then get a box or bag or whatever, a corner of your counter, and pull out all the pots and pans and cups and plates and stuff that you would need, that you would find maybe in an Airbnb. So like one medium-sized box of like stuff that you might need to cook with. That's it. You pack all that stuff up. You get one box, couple suitcases, like you're going away for 2 weeks, and the supplies is like what you would expect to find in like a basic Airbnb type of a thing. Like have enough for you to like make dinner or whatever. That's all. You set that stuff aside. Everything else, and so you would get linens, leave linens on the bed, a couple towels in the shower, right? Or in the bathroom. That's it. Everything else, you get clear bags, contractor bags, or clear yard, where people like clean stuff out of the yard or whatever. You put it in a stretchy bag, in one of those bags that isn't gonna like fall apart. Clear ones though, so you can see what's inside it. And you literally just put everything else either in bags, in those clear bags, or you get the banker boxes. You can get a pack of like, I don't know, 25 banker boxes or whatever. Those are the ones that the lids come off and go on. Put all your stuff in there. Or if you think you do it for one room, do it for your house, do it for whatever, pack everything away, shove it in one room, and live with just that suitcase and that box of supplies that you kept, like, you know, whatever it is, sheets and pans and pots and pans and stuff like that. Live like that. Look around, see your sofa, see your floor, see empty drawers. Feel the expanse. Feel yourself start to get calm. Backyard Dog Racing mentioned peace a little bit ago. Feel the peace. Feel the luxury of having room to breathe, room to move. Enjoy that. Get a taste of what the wealth in that feels like, the health, the well-being, the support, the regeneration, the rejuvenation. Feel that. Get a taste for it. And I feel like if once you taste that, you're not going to want to go back. And it's going to be a lot easier when you do someday go back and to face that stuff. It's going to be a lot easier for you to prioritize yourself and your peace, because you will have experienced it. You will have tasted it. So that is my emergency protocol. Pack like you're going away for 2 weeks. Get you a box of stuff for the kitchen, utensils, whatever you need, a couple of towels and linens, whatever you're going to need, and then push everything else away. I had a friend who was going through it. She has a family. She's going through emotional stuff, whatever. Hold on. Let's see here. Thanks, Def. I appreciate you, love. Sending this to my mom. We are decluttering now. Yes, honey. It is so liberating, and to do it now in the springtime, this is the best time. Let's see here. So Backyard says Fibonacci sequencing is a natural phenomenon. Are you suggesting replicating that for a peaceful environment? I think it naturally generates. I think the discovery of that was discovering something that already exists. And I think when we are at peace, we're generating those sorts of frequencies, and we're in that flow and in harmony and synchronization with that sort of natural sacred geometry. The Airbnb idea is brilliant. Yeah. So how good does it feel to be in a hotel or an Airbnb? It's fresh, it's new, there's space around us. We're not overwhelmed with clutter, but we don't need much more than that. I was telling you a story about a friend of mine. She got overwhelmed in her space. She's like, I just don't know what to do. She has a growing family. I told her what I just told you. Pack like you're going away for 2 weeks. Take everything else. And I don't believe in paying for storage units. It's just, to me, it's so expensive. And you go back and you're like, why would I pay $100, $200, $300, $400, $500 a month to store this junk? I don't even want it anymore, and I've already spent all this money. I could have replaced everything I had in here. But I don't believe in paying for storage. But in her situation, I said, look, just go get a storage unit, take all that stuff that you packed up, put it in storage, and actually have a home. It changed her whole, she was like, I thought I was depressed. I thought I was going through something. I'm fine. It was just too much stuff in the space. So that is my suggestion that is my decluttering protocol for y'all to try. If it feels like too much for you to do everything, do one room. Do your bedroom. Just say, okay, I'm going to take the crazy advice she gave, but I'm just going to do it in my bedroom. I'm going to make my bedroom my sanctuary. I'm only going to have my bed, my linens, a little place for me to set my my tea for nighttime, a place for me to plug in my phone. That's all. My clothes are not going to be in here. None of my stuff is going to be stored in here. I'm not keeping a bunch of decorations in here. Everything gets out. Pick one room and do it. Just get started. And you are going to feel a lot better. I want you to let your space reflect your future, not your fear. There's a lot of times we hold on to stuff because we feel like, oh, I might need this. You're probably not going to be able to find it, and you don't use 80% of it anyway. Now, I'm going to circle back to what Healthy Hair said in just 1 second. Airbnb idea, my kitchen is a portal to hell. I need to declutter that immediately. Get you a box and just get rid of a bunch of stuff. Now, I'm gonna give you another tip about when you are going in to organize. I got 2 things left for you. I'm gonna give you this tip for organizing, and I'm gonna talk about what Healthy Hair brought up a minute ago, which is trash versus belongings. Healthy Hair says, decluttering is really good for the brain. Yes, negative space gives your brain, yes, girl, speak, gives your brain a break. Always having to process what is there. I do an area and go 12 inches at a time. That's a great cleaning technique too. If you have a bunch of stuff sitting on a table, she'll just say, okay, I'm gonna do this 12-inch area, and then go. The way I do it is I'll do a line in my mind. I say, well, whatever crosses that line first, then I pick up that little thing, and then this thing gets picked up and put away, and then the line moves. Okay, this is the next thing. So sometimes if you're overwhelmed with stuff, that's also a great tip for picking up. Space reflects my future, not my fear. Amen. That's right, Chroma. Backyard says, that's a really great idea. I could imagine in just a few weeks forgetting about all of that stuff you just packed away. You're going to forget about it. It's not serving you. We're using, according to these estimates, 20% of the stuff that we have. Set yourself free, baby. Set yourself free. Hi, T-Dub. How are you? Welcome in. Thank you for saying hello. Okay, so let's talk about what Healthy Hair mentioned a second ago, trash versus belongings. I say this to people about food. They're overeating. Oh, I don't want to waste it. Just because you eat it doesn't mean it's not wasted. You're just carrying it in your body. You're going to have to go through the energy of processing it, and then it's going to become official waste. It was waste in the first place because you were already full. Same thing with belongings. The difference between trash and belongings, just because it's in your home doesn't mean it isn't already trash. I said earlier, are you living in a home or a glorified storage unit? And Healthy Hair she cut right to the chase. She said, yeah, are you living in a landfill? If the stuff does not have use for you right now, it has potential use, it might someday. A landfill has a whole lot of stuff that potentially might someday, coulda, woulda, shoulda, might be. It doesn't mean it's not trash just because you're housing it. So that is a really, really important thing. Thank you for all the hearts and love, my sweets. I'm sending them right back to you. Let's see here. Oops, I'm missing something. Oops, let's see what am I going here. Let's see here. All right, so we're going to a concert. That's what's up. Backyard says, I would be willing to bet A byproduct of that free space will be free time. Yes, great point, because we're spending a lot of time dealing with that stuff. And Kim says, great tips for getting rid of excess stuff. Thank you, my love. I appreciate you. Let's see here. Want to be friends. Yes, let's all very friendly here. Healthy hair, great words. She's brilliant. Consign the unused stuff and turn it into money. That is a great motivator. Amen. Yes, you can call me healthy, dear. Let's see here. Lindell says, living in a storage container. LOL. I can relate. We are decluttering now. And this is the thing, it is a healthy habit because we all are blessed here in US at least. We're blessed to have access to so much stuff. I don't have to leave my home. I can press a couple keys on the computer and stuff will come into my environment. Well, the flip side of that, there's always an ebb and flow. We got to get in the habit of letting the stuff go just as much as we're in the habit of bringing the stuff in. We know how to bring stuff in. Oh, I like it. It's going to serve this purpose. It's whatever. Or, oh, why not? Or whatever the reason is that stuff comes in. It was a gift, whatever it comes in. We have to have our standards high for when it's time to let it go. So just because it is in your house does not mean it isn't trashed. Waste is anything that is, like Backyard said, waste is anything that is wasting your time, your space, your energy. Keeping it in your home does not make it valuable. It just makes you responsible for it. So if it's not already actively serving you, it is already garbage. So don't imprison yourself with it. It's emotional clutter and all that kind of stuff. Okay, so what I want to tell you, we talked about it already being trash. I told you to put all that stuff in a bag, put it in a box, throw it away, get rid of it. I have a bunch of tips for how to get rid of stuff for free because you can call 1-800-GOT-JUNK and different services, but they do charge for when they come pick you up. Other ways to get rid of stuff. Once you have all this stuff, you say, I don't want this stuff. I want to get rid of it. I think you can take stuff to the landfills yourself if you know how to do that in your town. They will charge you a little bit of money, but I don't think it's that expensive. You have to find out. I'm not sure. But one thing I've had luck with, I had an art studio and I had a whole bunch of stuff stored and I didn't want it anymore. I was like, I'm not painting anymore. I put an ad on Facebook Marketplace. I live in a big city, so our marketplace, our Facebook Marketplace is pretty active, but it could work for you too. I just took a big picture of all the stuff. It wasn't packaged. It wasn't anything. I took a picture of all the stuff and I just said free. First come, first serve, DM me for the address. And there are people who make their make their entire living taking free stuff, taking pictures of it, writing descriptions for it, and selling it. This girl came, she packed her entire, I don't know how she fit all this stuff in like a Monte Carlo, but she took all the stuff from my studio, put it in her car, was super thankful, gave me a gift, and took it away for me for free. So something like that could work. There are groups called Buy Nothing groups where people try to save money. You could maybe go to one of those. You can go to donation centers, drop stuff off. You can put stuff out on the curb and with a little sign that says free. You can ask for a special pickup from your garbage people. Sometimes they'll do that as well without charging you anything. Free tables at schools or churches. You can have a swap party with people. You can have a big garage sale and put prices on everything. Even though that is labor, you can make money. Or you can have the big garage sale one day and then tell everybody who comes, look, whatever doesn't sell today is free tomorrow. Those are some ideas. Healthy says, yes, consign this stuff, absolutely. And then she says, it is tax season. A lot of places are doing free and secure recycle events. Oh, good call. Also, she mentioned something to me the other day, free shredding. During tax season, a lot of places will shred like sensitive documents and stuff like that for you for free as well. So those are some free ways to get rid of all that junk. And then when you do go to store things, so Scotty was talking about storing things or getting stuff organized in his kitchen, and I was telling him get rid of everything. If you do the banker's boxes that I was suggesting, if you have a bunch of stuff and you're like, I just need to get it contained, I don't want to look at it. If you get like a stack of those banker's boxes, I don't think they cost that much. The reason I like those is because the lids come off and go on and you can stack them up really tall. Now this is the last tip that I'm going to give you today, stacking things up really tall. Vertical storage. She is that girl. If you don't have a ton of space, or if you're not willing to give over all of your space to store stuff and it's stuff that you've already, combed through and you want to keep, vertical storage she's just, she's her, because you get a very small footprint and you go up all the way to the ceiling if you can safely, and you store things like that, whether that's in a closet. I have a tall cabinet here that's got a small footprint but goes almost all the way to my ceiling. I would suggest that. Those banker's boxes, you put stuff in them, label them on the outside, and you just stack them one on top of the other all the way to the ceiling if you can, if that's safe, if you have a closet or someplace where it's not gonna all fall down on you. But you just take one area and you go all the way up. So vertical storage is the biggest tip. I read KonMari's book, The Life-Changing Magic of Tidying Up. Great book, changed my life. But let's see here. Chroma says, great session. Thank you, my love. Okay, so vertical storage. It can work like I was just telling you, boxes that go to the ceiling, but it can also work in drawers. It can work in closets. It can work everywhere. I use the principle of vertical storage as, it's like one of my favorite things that I got out of that book from KonMari, Life-Changing Magic of Tidying Up. Okay, so this is an example of vertical storage. How is this vertical storage? It's just a shoebox. This did not cost me, you know, I didn't have to pay extra for it. I had a pair of shoes that came in a box. Sometimes I like to save this kind of stuff because it can really help you contain your items, especially if you're just trying to figure out, well, how am I going to do this and where am I going to put stuff? Just using whatever you have around the house, not spending a bunch of money on a bunch of new containers can be really great. But this is an example of vertical storage. I could very easily have taken all this stuff in and laid it down flat and then dug around through this box every single time I wanted to get something. But through storing it with everything sitting up, I can see everything that's in this box. I know, oh, I need sunscreen, I'll grab this. I need eyeshadow, I'll grab this. I need my cheek color palette, I'll use that. So you can see everything. You can do this in drawers, you can do this in cabinets, you can do it in closets. This is just the principle of vertical storage is so huge. It'll save you time because you can see everything and it saves you space. I had a closet, not a really big walk-in closet, but it was kind of a square closet at one point, and I was just using it regular. It had a hanging rack this way, and I was just using it like that, and I had my shoes underneath and a little shelf. I learned about vertical storage, honey. Do you know I shoved a full dresser, a full 6-drawer dresser against the back wall of this closet. Now I had to work to get it in there, but it fit. I put a full dresser in there, and on top of that, I put a bookcase that had little squares in it, and I shoved purses and all kinds of stuff in there. Then there was the shelf, right? And then on top of the shelf, I went all the way to the ceiling. I only used the hanging stuff on this side, like from floor to ceiling. I was able to use all of that vertical space and have a cleaner, more accessible space. I didn't have to store stuff everywhere. So I just want to give you that gift as well. Use vertical storage. Think, be imaginative. Look online how to use vertical storage in my closet or in my kitchen or whatever. And I hope that helps. I appreciate you guys for being here. Chroma says vertical. Yes, vertical storage is great. Also, if you live in a small town like where I'm from and you don't have a great Facebook marketplace or a great place to get things secondhand, one of the big principles that I would say to keep in mind is saving up or selling the stuff that you have, somehow, you know, getting some money together to buy one really great piece of storage, PAX, P-A-X, wardrobes from IKEA. They will deliver it to your house, even if you live someplace, you know, kind of rural or whatever, but they're big, they're heavy, you have to put them together. Maybe you could get help, but if you get one amazing piece of storage, and the reason why I'm saying the PAX wardrobes is because they're big, you can get drawers in them, you can do all these sorts of things. You can get them secondhand, sometimes already assembled. That is the best. That is like chef's kiss. I've done that in the past. But even if you have to assemble them, getting one great piece of vertical storage furniture that has like drawers in it and trays in it and sections and all that kind of stuff, you can have everything that you need like in one storage place in your house, and just enjoy the rest of the space being open and great. Let's see here. Great job, coach. Thank you, organizing professional. Declutter challenge. I'm so excited to declutter now. Backyard says, if you use the shoebox method in a drawer, it becomes a very valuable tool for storage because you can remove the entire box, get what you want, and put it back rather than rummaging. Amen to that. Now, if you do have space in your bathroom for a cabinet that has really deep drawers, really tall, like deep drawers, not a shallow drawer that's just like this, but like a deep drawer that is really tall, where you can put tall stuff in it. That is my number one tip for bathroom storage. If you have them built in, if you're getting a new vanity or something like that, get deep drawers, because like Backyard was saying, drawers are such a great way to use stuff. And if you have the deep ones, you can put shampoo bottles and, I don't know, alcohol, not to drink, but like hydrogen peroxide and rubbing alcohol. You can put them in there just like that, and you pull the drawer open, get the one thing you need, put it right back in without having to lay things and, like he said, rummage. So deep drawers in bathrooms and stuff like that, I think are really, really helpful. If you have a big enough bathroom, you can just bring a dresser in that has deep drawers. Good on you. My bathroom is really small. All right, so Chroma, it looks like she had a message and she took it back. Y'all have been amazing. I'm gonna let you go. I want you to spend the rest of just a couple minutes, the rest of this time that is here for our Healthy Habits Huddle, and just think about your situation. Think about how you can make this week a little healthier, a little more clutter-free, how you can be freer, healthier, happier. Take a deep breath, enjoy the day. As long as you have air in your lungs, that means life is rooting for you, as am I. Please come back again next Sunday. We do this every Sunday morning, 10 o'clock Pacific time, 1 o'clock Eastern. I appreciate y'all. If you have ideas about what you want us to do for topics for our huddle, please don't be shy. Put them in the comments. I see all the comments, and I'm happy to accommodate when I can. She says yes, and like the video. Thank you for the hearts. I'm sending the hearts right back. Like the video. Thank you for being here. Mwah, mwah, mwah. And yeah, let's let's get clutter free. I appreciate y'all. Take care.